Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Frank Mularcik, and in this video we're going to be looking at all the dividends I received in the month of November 2021 and any changes I made to the portfolio, as well as some nice dividend increases we got this month. So that's actually what we're going to look at first, is these dividend increases. As you can see here on the spreadsheet, basically in this column over here I have highlighted in green whenever there's an increase. So this column right here basically pulls the dividend amount from a Python script, or rather a Python script is updating those amounts daily basically, and then I can see when there's an increase based on this manual value that I enter manually. So there was actually an ExxonMobil dividend increase of about only 1 cent per quarter. Honestly, I don't think they really should have increased it. I think they should have just focused more on their core business and tried not to worry about shareholders as much, I guess. But I recently, sold out of most of my position in ExxonMobil. So I actually talked about that in my last dividend video for the month of October, I think. So that was only like a 1% increase, but it's definitely better than nothing. And then also Amcor, they've been pretty weak with the increases as well. Theirs was about 2% from 47 cents annually to 48 cents. So we'll change that one as well. And then Aflac had a pretty awesome dividend increase from $1.32 annually to $1.60, and that's about a 21% increase. So that's awesome to see, and I'm super excited about that. And the stock has been doing really well. Additionally, if we go over here, which sort of displays my performance of the positions, it shows here that I've gained about 45%, capital appreciation wise on my Aflac position, which is super exciting to see. So that one has been doing very well for me, and I'm excited about the dividends. And then AbbVie, right at the beginning of the month, announced a dividend increase of about 8.46% from $5.20 annually to $5.64 annually. So those are the dividend increases for the month, and you can see what the portfolio is looking like before we update this spreadsheet. If you want to pause here and look at anything, you can do that. But now we're going to go over to my account on Fidelity, and this is basically the history from November 1st to November 30th, as it shows here. And we're just going to download this transaction history into a CSV file. We'll go ahead and place that in the correct folder and download it. And then we'll go into our Python script here and just run it. And basically what's going to happen is it's going to open up a window and allow us to select that file as our history, or as the transactions. And we can select that file, and then it's going to go through and calculate, how much of each stock did we buy, and how many dividends did we receive from each stock, and how much was that total amount. And then it's also going to input all those values into my spreadsheet as well. So now that we selected that file, it's going to input all those values into this transactions tab in my spreadsheet here. So that's pretty cool to see. They should pop up around here. And then it'll also input the dividend payments as well into this dividend payments tab. So if you guys are interested in learning sort of how I've built this spreadsheet, I'm doing a series right now on that. And so far I've made 2 videos on it. There should be one coming out within a week or 2 again, going into some of the other things that I have not covered yet. So if you do want to check that out, make sure to check out that playlist on my channel and watch those videos as well. And I'll be back with you once this has updated everything. So the script just finished running, as we can see, and right here at the end it shows us sort of a summary of everything. So we bought this month about $10 of Caterpillar stock and $10 of JP Morgan stock. And then also we did make a sort of substantial investment in Leggett & Platt this month. It's sort of been down. I think it had a fairly big drop at the beginning of the month on what I thought were fairly decent earnings, if I recall correctly. And then it sort of continued to drop some at the end of November, as we saw a little bit of a market pullback as a whole, but we invested about $35 into them this month. So that means we invested about almost $55 this month, and we also deposited our normal $45 that we do every month. And then we got a lot of dividends this month, actually, from a fair amount of companies, or like a good amount of companies, I guess. So these are in reverse order. So the first one we got was from AT&T of about 95 cents, and then we got one from JP Morgan of about 72 cents. And the JP Morgan dividend is sort of goes with October, but because of the weekend, it didn't really show up in the account until the 1st of November. So I'm just including it here for simplicity. Then we got a dividend from Air Products and Chemicals of about 78 cents. We got a dividend from Apple of a whole 11 cents. And then the big one here, AbbVie, we got a dividend of $1.79 from them, which is super exciting. This is the first month I've earned any dividends from AbbVie since I started buying them, I think, in September. So that's pretty cool, and we can see the dividend per share was $1.30, but that's going to be increasing next quarter. So we'll get an automatic raise from them even if we don't buy any more shares. Then we also got a dividend from Procter & Gamble, about 49 cents, dividend from Caterpillar of 39 cents, and a dividend from Carrier Global of 14 cents. So that means the total amount in dividends we received this month was $5.37, which is fantastic. I'm super excited about that amount. And if we look here, these are basically all of our transactions this month. We bought Leg 3 different times, and then we bought JP Morgan and Caterpillar. And then if we look here in the dividend payments, we can see those all added in right here for November. And then we're going to go over to this monthly dividends tab and see the progress there. So that is really exciting because this new month in November is $5.37, which is way higher than the $3 we got in August, which is the previous quarter, the corresponding month of the previous quarter. So that's really awesome to see. And I'm also excited to see how much we get in dividends in the month of December as well, because that's usually a pretty good month. But it looks like this has actually been the highest earning month for us so far. Normally it's the third month of each quarter, but because of that AbbVie dividend and some other raises from other companies, this amount is a little bit higher than normal, which is awesome to see. And then if we look at it by quarter, we can see this quarter we've already gotten $7.21 in dividends, which is, higher than we were getting from every single quarter, last year pretty much. And that's just pretty exciting since we've only had 2 months this quarter compared to most quarters, which are 3 months. And then if we look at the year, we've received about $33.99 in dividends this year. So that means we're about $6 away from $40 in dividends, which I think at some point I said was sort of my goal for total dividends in 2021. But I also, admitted that was sort of a stretch goal as well, just because that was basically double the amount of dividends we received in 2020. So if we get there, that would be awesome. I think we'll be, pretty close because December will probably be a pretty good month. But we'll just have to wait and see where we end up. That'll be exciting for sure. And then also the final tab we're going to look at here is this changes over time, and we're just going to run this script to see how these numbers change. So it looks like the amount of annual dividends projected is actually over $50 right now, which is awesome. We'll go back and look at that. And it increased basically about 5.83% from last month, and the dividend Kagger right now is around 8.95%, and that decreased actually by about 1.79% from last month, which is obviously not what we want to see, but right now with the dividend Kagger of around 9%, I'm pretty happy with that. So if we see some fluctuations up and down month to month, I don't think that's that big of a deal, but you can see that the annual dividends over time has been a steady increase, slow I would say, but very steady for sure. And then the dividend Kagger has been a pretty steady increase. We've seen some drops here along the way, but pretty steady increase. September of last year, the dividend Kagger was only around 6%, and now we're pretty much at 9%. So that is awesome to see, and I'm really excited about that. And then if we go back to the summary page here, we can look at the summary again just to recap. So now the annual dividends, as we can see, is over $50.95. And then it looks like we're getting, or the portfolio value right now is around $1,900, which is pretty exciting as well. And then monthly, our average should be around $4.25 of dividend income, which is pretty cool. And then we're also going to look over here. I'm going to look at some of the Kaggers just to see how they changed. So I don't see any drastic changes. The one I was thinking we might see a change in is AbbVie, because obviously they had that 8% dividend increase this year, which is drastically lower than that 22% that they've been averaging over the past 3 years. So I was thinking maybe that would decrease a little bit, and maybe that's why we saw a little bit of a decrease in the Kagger. But I think part of the reason as well is that we just bought some companies with lower Kaggers this month, like Leggett and Platt and Caterpillar. Those, I think their Kaggers are probably in the 5% range. You can look over here and see that Caterpillar's Kagger, it looks like over the past 3 years it's around 10%, which is awesome. And then Leggett and Platt's though is around 4%, which is definitely not as high. So that's probably part of the reason that the dividend Kagger dropped as well. But that's about it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and let me know how much you received in the month of November in dividends. I'd be really interested to hear that as well. And I just want to thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.